Hey Peace viewers and subscribers, I have another video. I'm just doing a recap on a Xbox controller that I purchased. Now, the controller that I purchased was this one. It was the special color. It had the aqua green with the dark gray and the light gray. Now, it's not too bad. I do like the feel of it. It has a little bit of rough on the bottom. Had no complaints so far. Now, the only thing is all the keys and everything work fine. I just find with the controller, with this one, all the other ones seem to be fine. But it seemed like I had an issue with one of the analog sticks. I don't know if it fell down on the floor, I dropped it, or it just wore out. I'm not 100% positive. I don't see any cracks, no dings, no separations or anything of the controller, but I just find a lot of these controllers now are very fragile. You got to be very careful with them. Like, you're paying $68 for them, and it seems like they don't last very long. Like, this is the only one I'm really having problems with right now. Now, the one I bought, I have recently. I have the brand new one. I have the Elite one with it on it, and basically, this is white. It kind of looks blue because I have aqua blue lights on my monitor rig right now in front of me. Now the thing is I do like now. The thing is I was so skeptical on buying one of these because they're so expensive. But I must say I'm quite thoroughly impressed. Um, all of the triggers on the back are all metal. Now these are magnetic that go inside the controller. So if you ever drop it or concerned that you're going to break these, they're metal. So then they're aluminum, so you don't have to worry about breaking them. Now the only thing is if you do drop them sometimes, these will fall out. Because I have had it happen. I had my nephew had the controller and dropped it on the floor. So that's one thing you got to be careful of. Just make sure that they don't fall out. Now another thing as well, I do like this analog at the bottom. I do like that, the D-pad. Now, the other two things are good. Now, I do like the fact that you can adjust your trigger pressures so that, let's say you're playing a game, or maybe you have something wrong with your hand, or you have difficulty pressing the buttons all the way down, your triggers. You can adjust them so it's like only one click, so that it's easier for you to control your controller. Now, that was another benefit. Now, it does come with rubber on it, so it is very grip. It does have a lot of grip to it, so there's less chance it is going to fall out of your hand. And I must say, this controller is heavy. Like, to compare this towards this one, it's like night and day. Like, you could pick it up and you could feel the weight of this controller. Now, the other thing is the only thing I found out about this controller is, yes, they're offering you a better price. They're giving you the better deal with the controller. But what happens is, when you go to control the controls to set up the buttons and everything on the computer, what happens is you have to buy an app. And you buy this from Microsoft, and they don't give you the app to set the controller. You got to buy the app to be able to set your additional buttons on the back of the controller. I don't know if that was before, but when I bought it, and when I got it now, that is the case. You have to purchase the app with it. So technically, if you think you're going to save some money by buying the core one, you're not. Because they don't come with these, and it doesn't come with the software to set up all the controls. Now, if that was on the Xbox, yes, you can set it that way with no problem. Just on the computer, you have to purchase the Microsoft app off of the Microsoft Store on the PC to be able to set up additional buttons. Now, mostly all the controllers I got, I'm very impressed with them. I have the red one, the Volt Red. No issues, no dirt. The joystick stay clean. I've had no dirt get on them and make them look horrible or anything like that. So the red one is definitely an excellent purchase. Now, There's another remote that I do sell. It's kind of like an Elite controller. It's a little different. Now, this is what it looks like on the back. You have the two triggers on the side here. Now, the funniest thing is, I find these ones on the back that they got the setup on are easier to use than these ones. Because I find the one on the Pro controller, you have to stretch. So if you have a small hand, you may have to stretch and you have to adjust to it. So then it's going to take you a while to adjust to it. Now, I do sell this one. If you're interested, just message me and I'll show you the details. Now, you can change these buttons around this controller. You can take out your D-pad, your buttons, and everything, and you can change them all around. I'll give you an example. Just trying to remember which way it goes. So, there's a ring here that you turn. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Okay. So, there is a ring that turns, and the front comes off. So, you can basically rearrange your controller any way you wish. You could take your D stick, that out, and you put it in another port. Then you could take the other one and put the other one over there. Then you could take your A buttons, your X, Y, and A buttons. You can move the D-pad up there and put the X, A, Y, and B down at the bottom. So this one is very versatile. So you can basically change your layout of the controller or how you like to play. And the only problem by doing things like that is there is going to be a little bit of a learning curve. Because basically with me, I tried going to the gaming small keyboard with the one that's in your hand like this, the small one, and with the mouse. Now, if you're a person that does have patience, because the problem is if you played mostly games with a controller most of your whole life, and then you try to go to a keyboard, gaming keyboard, there is a huge learning curve that I found. I found that the time it would take me to learn how to do the keyboard, I'm better off to play my gameplay better with my controllers and improve my gameplay that way. Because it's just going to be too frustrating. I tried it and it's very frustrating. You'd have to play like a lot of campaign stuff before you'd start playing games online. Now, I got some other controllers. See the, where is it? The yellow one. That one works excellent. I have no complaints about it. But the only scenario I have with that one is they have neon yellow thumbsticks. The thumbsticks, they get all dirty looking after a while. So that's the only downfall of that yellow one. All the other ones seem to work fine. Now, we have the clear one, the next one to it. I'm sorry, this one. That is a afterglow. That one is just strictly a cable only. I do like that controller. Now, sometimes I'll use the wired ones over the thing. It just all depends on how I feel. Some days I feel neon yellow, and some days I feel like a white one, and some days I feel like a gray one and a green one. So it's just basically preference, basically at this point. Now I have another controller that is the one on the end. That one you really can't see right now. I've done a review of it in the video. No complaints. That one works good. Now the only thing is I figured out with the Switch, the only way you can get that controller to work wirelessly is you have to not put it in the dock. Then you have to connect the controller to the Switch before you put it in the dock. Then put it in the dock. Then you can use the controller. If you try pairing it when it's in the dock, it will not pair properly, and you'll be fighting with it. So that's basically a little tip there when you're trying to use that controller. Now, I'm gonna roll back here. So I got two other controllers. Now these controllers are one's from Afterglow. It's another Afterglow. No, actually I don't think this is an Afterglow. This is a PDP. I purchased quite a few of their things. I got no complaints. Here's their one right here by Xbox. Now this one doesn't light up, nothing. It just basically that reddish that kind of like a dark red plastic. And basically that one runs very well. The only problem I find with running these controllers with just cords, and some of them don't even have a battery in them, and you have to use a cord at all times. Now the downfall is some of these don't have the USB Type C. So if you're using a micro USB, like let me see here, it's on this one. I find that there's a problematic. The cable gets a little wobbly and connected, and you have to throw the cable away after a while. That's the only downfall I find. I wish they would have just wired the cord right into the controller. What's the point of having it that you can take the cable out when there's no battery in it to use as a wireless device anyway? It just seems quite pointless. I think it's just because they're trying to make it more cost effective and cheaper, and they don't have to make another case. They just use it, so you use a basic cable. Now, about the Pro Elite controller, and that one has the USB Type C, not the Micro Mini. Now, I have no problem with that charge cord at all. I don't have any issues or anything, but I find those micro USB cables that they're very touchy. That you drop it on the floor or something, or by accident, you may as well just write the cord right off and throw it out the window, because it's never going to work again. Now, the other one I have is the other Volt one, the Blue Volt. Now, this one is good. Got a real good grip on the back of it. I find this is a little more grippier than the red one and the yellow one. This one right here. I find it has more roughness on the back of it. Works fine, no issues, everything's been good. The joysticks don't get dirty. The joysticks still look like they're brand new. So basically, if you're concerned with your joysticks looking new, the yellow one is not the best choice. Only other option is you have to probably keep cleaning your controller at all times, or try to prevent you from, getting dirt on the controller to begin with. Now, I find with all of these controllers, you have to wash them, clean them, I mean. I usually use maybe a disinfectant wipe, or I'll use like a baby wipe along that line, or something along that line. And then basically, then you can do that too as well, and keep them clean. Now, basically, out of all the controllers that I could say at this point that I'm really impressed with, is basically, we're going to go back to the Elite. I do like this controller. No complaints. Now, the other thing is that most of these controllers, like I'm saying, like this one, the Volt, that uses USB Type-C. The other one that uses USB Type-C. My red one I have, that's USB Type-C as well. The new one is USB Type-C. But this one is why I've not been using this very much. I broke the cable with it. You have to have a certain cable that go with that. You can't just use a data cable. You have to use a data/charge cable. Now, most people think that all cables are the same. All cables are not the same. I hate to break it to you. Basically, some cables are only for data only. Some cables are for charging only with no data option. So basically, if you ever run into issues where you find some devices are not charging, more than likely it's probably due to your cable. You're probably using the wrong cable for the application, which you can run into. Now, I know that you're probably saying, well, why is that the case? Normally, I thought all the cables were data and charging nowadays, but they are not. I discovered that there is a few. I guess it could be due to the fact if you buy a cheap cord, I'm assuming that there could be a difference in that way, why there could be an issue with them. But I've had micro USB Type-Cs that were from like name brand products, and those cords go as well to micro USB. So basically, the micro USB is not the best choice. If you're going to look for a controller and you're going to use the cord all the time, I suggest you get the USB Type-C connection, so you don't have to worry about that. Now, the other thing as well, I find with these cables, they just go in the port. I find with the PDPs and the afterglows, the cable goes right inside this little indent, and if you don't have the right cable, the cable won't fit in there, and you're fighting with finding a cable to fit it. That's another issue that I find with that type of controller, where they sink the uh, the charge cord in so far. I'm thinking that when they manufacture it, they do make controllers with just the cord that's built right into it, and that's what it looks like. It looks like it's like a multi design for like a case for a multi different type of controllers that they may sell, like a different model. But other than that, basically all of them, all I've been impressed with basically all of them. Like I've been impressed with the low cost one and the high cost one. But the only difference is I do find this one is a lot more heavier. That's the only thing I find. But I kind of like a little more weight to the controller. It feels like it's more balanced. Like I find some of these, like the Volt ones and that, I don't find they're as balanced. Like I find they're a little more top heavy. I find with the Elite ones, they got a little more weight to the back, to the back of this side. There's more in your hand, so it feels like it's more comfortable. I find these ones, the controls are kind of like tipping down. I find with the lead, it's kind of like you have it in a right position to get your maximum, stretch and use out of the controller. But I've been using these for years now, so basically I still can use these with no problem. I just thought I'd go all out with the Elite because they were a little cheaper because they were the Elite Core. But there's a lot of things when you buy the Elite Core that you don't realize until you get it, and then you're like, well, I'm not really saving any money. I should just went and got the Elite Pro with not the Core, so that it comes with all the accessories. So basically, that's all I have to say about these controllers. But the only one, do watch out for this one. This one. Excuse me. That watch out for the blue one with the aqua green and the aqua green under the thumbsticks. You can drop these. I've noticed that one of my thumbsticks on this controller does not work anymore. So basically, that's the only one I've had issues so far with the thumbsticks. Everything else, all the other ones, they're all working perfect, no problems. But I don't know, maybe it's just by coincidence it could have dropped a certain way and it could have caused the damage. But at that point, there's really, once you drop it, and there's really no going back. Once it's broke, it's broken. Now that was the only one I had problems with. The rest of them, no issues. So that's my video on my update on the controllers that I own. And basically, obviously, if you do like this video, hit like and subscribe at the bottom. Do thank you for all the support from all the other subscribers. Tell all your friends and have your friends subscribe today. I'm looking for a goal of 500 subscribers. Please help me out. I would greatly appreciate that. And if you have any suggestions of different type of videos, let me know, and I'll do some additional videos in the future.